Did you know that in The Dark Knight, this movie features a new Batsuit for Bruce Wayne? Christian Bale was more comfortable and agile in this Batsuit than he was in Batman Begins in 2005. He admitted he didn't gain as much muscle weight for this movie as in the previous Batman movie, partly due to the Batsuit design in this movie being more lightweight and flexible. A total of 200 unique pieces of rubber, fiberglass, metallic mesh, and nylon were used in the costume, adding the appearance of sophisticated technology, with elastic bands to adjust the costume to Bale's size. Retractable razors were attached to the gauntlets which could be fired. A motorcycle helmet-inspired cowl was designed with a separate neck piece so Bale could move his head left, right, up, and down. Did you know in Spider-Man No Way Home, the restaurant that MJ works at is called Peter Pan Donut and Pastry Shop, and it's actually a real place in Brooklyn. Since the movie was shot in Georgia, they had to visit the real location, photograph it, and rebuild a reproduction of it at the studio. The real staff of Peter Pan's is still thrilled that their company is now a part of the MCU. Did you know that in Avengers Age of Ultron, many of Scarlett Johansson's scenes were filmed before she started showing during filming because she was pregnant during the shoot? 3 stunt doubles were hired to hide her pregnancy later in the filming process. There was a great deal of confusion amongst the other actors since, according to them, all of the stuntwomen looked very similar to Johansson. Eventually, Chris Evans said he would say hello to one of them and start a conversation with them just to realize that the person he was speaking with was not Johansson. Ultimately, some scenes used CGI to hide Johansson's belly. Did you know that in Spider-Man Far From Home, just before the water elemental fight begins, Quentin Beck can be seen lurking around Peter Parker? Multiple groups of twin wakes can be seen in the water of the canal, being caused by Beck's submerged drones. A few of Beck's men can be seen as well. The scene in Venice where the water elemental attacks is one of Tom Holland's favorite action scenes. Peter runs across a series of poles where some boats are docked. Holland regrets not following the stunt coordinator's advice to wear shin guards. Did you know that in Deadpool, in the comic books, Angel Dust is a natural mutant who can augment her super strength temporarily with adrenaline rushes? When she uses her powers, lines start to appear on her face, and she gets tired or exhausted afterwards. The movie version, where the character is played by Gina Carano, shows that she's a mutant whose powers have been artificially boosted, just like Deadpool. She's also much more powerful in the movie compared to the comics, and does not seem to depend on adrenaline. There are, however, moments in the film when Angel Dust is clearly exhausted in her fight with Colossus, as she's reached the limits of her power. This was done as a nod to the original comics. Did you know in Interstellar, Christopher Nolan had already grown 500 acres of corn for scenes in Man of Steel, and he sought to do the same thing for the cornfield scene in Interstellar as well. It worked out well, and the corn was later sold, for which it turned a rather substantial profit for the film budget. Did you know in This Is the End, Michael Cera only had one condition for agreeing to be in the movie. He wanted to wear the bright, colorful windbreaker that he has in the film. Rogen was surprised by this because he thought that Michael would complain about the inappropriate behavior that he had to do in the script. Did you know that in Red Notice, on the first day of filming, Dwayne Johnson's father Rocky passed away? Dwayne took time off from production to be with his family and attend his funeral. Rocky Johnson was a Canadian pro wrestler. In the history of WWF, he was the first black champion. Johnson was a boxer before he turned to sports entertainment. Many people know him as one of the greatest superstars in WWE history, but others know him for being High Chief Peter Maivia's son-in-law or the father of The Rock. However, Rocky Johnson will always be known as a pioneer and a trailblazer, as he was the first black person to win coveted World Tag Team Gold.